Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka The Terrible Australian, and welcome from supermarcy.com, of course, and welcome to my video review of director Tate Taylor's latest film, the thriller The Girl on the Train. So let's get right into it. Now, I've actually not read the book, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, so I can't really say how this film sort of compares to it. So I'm just basically going to be judging the film on its own as a film. So in that regard, but I've heard from like a friend of mine who has read the book that the book is quite a solid thriller. So in that regard, I was very intrigued to check it out just based on her recommendation, but also mainly because of who's behind it. Of course, it's directed by Tate Taylor, who made The Help, and as well as had a big all-star cast. And of course, Emily Blunt is in the lead role, and I'm a big Emily Blunt fan. I watch anything that she's in, and it's just all those aspects sort of combined together that made me really interested to check this one out. So, what did I think of the film overall? I would say that I thought it was a pretty solid thriller. Like, I don't think it's a particularly amazing film by any means, or one that's particularly memorable, and it's a film that's been done better in other films in the past. But I think for what it is on its own, I thought it was pretty solid and pretty decent overall. Like, it is a pretty well made film. Visually, the film looks great. It's well directed by Tate Taylor. And also, it has a really solid cast in it as well. And as you expect, Emily Blunt just gives great work in this film. She's saddled with a really interesting and complex character. And I found her character's journey through the film rather engaging. And she just commits to this performance 110%. Like, if there's anything worth seeing for the film it's definitely her performance, because she's just great. And even the supporting cast has Rebecca Ferguson, Haley Bennett, Justin Theroux, Luke Evans, Allison, Janney, Édgar, Ramírez, Lisa Kudrow, and so many others all give solid work in this film as well. And I can also see the sort of the comparisons that a lot of people have said that this film definitely is. The comparisons to David Fincher's film Gone Girl, which of course was also based on a best-selling book as well. Like, there's a lot of sort of at least based on the two films, because I haven't read Gone Girl either, but just based on the films alone, I can definitely see the comparisons. But they're kind of their own things. But at the same time, though, I could definitely see that The Girl on the Train was definitely made to capitalize on Gone Girl's success, because there are some sort of similar aspects to it, like a really interesting and complex story, and even a bit of and also an intriguing mystery as well. Really complex characters, particularly with the female leads, and also there's kind of a hint of trashiness to it as well, which I kind of get a sense of while I was watching this film, because let's just face it, a lot of the twists and turns of the story, which I will say most of them I did see coming, mainly because, and if that's one of the main criticism I have for a film that's meant to be a mystery, a lot of the mystery is easy to figure out. Although there is one aspect I thought was actually quite clever, and I did not expect at all, but you'll know what that is when you see the film. But whether it actually, but at the same time though, a lot of the twists are kind of silly in that regard, but at the same time, it kind of adds to the trashiness of the film. Not to say it's a full-on trashy film like, say, Showgirls or something like that, but you kind of get a hint of it, or at least feel a hint of it while you're watching the film, in terms of how, I guess, some of the, a lot of the plot is handled in the film, or the way it's written and directed. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid, thriller. Like I said, it's not an amazing film by any means. There are, like I said, it's very predictable. Then there are some pretty silly aspects about it, and I don't think some aspects of the story quite make sense. At least one aspect in particular, but at the same time, I did find it reasonably enjoyable. It definitely did remind me a lot of kind of early to mid-90s thrillers in that regard. Especially kind of around that period, was the sort of around that period, sorry. So in that regard, I can definitely see those films kind of being an influence on this one. But yeah, I like I said, it's not perfect, and I can definitely see the sort of I think if this film tried to be the next Gone Girl, I don't think it quite succeeded. But at the same time, for what it is, it's reasonably enjoyable. It's a decent film, but not a particularly amazing or memorable one, though. But I will say this, it's definitely worth it. I'd say it's worth a watch, particularly just for Emily Blunt, who's just great in this film. So if I had to give this film a rating, I'd give it a solid 3. Like I said, it's not amazing, but it's an okay watch. So, yep, that's the end of my video review of The Girl on the Train. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you guys. Bye.